Have I broken my dice?
Yes.
I'm trying to change everything to blue. Oh, I see what I've done.
I'm
Blue. Yeah, but if I'm white, you can't read the numbers on the D20. Okay, fine. I'll be something else.
Not my problem.
Fucking Big Whoop, want to fight about it?
Yeah, I'll get a plane. I'll be over in 3 hours.
After your 2 weeks fucking quarantine.
Yeah.
In a
Then
hotel.
I'll kick the shit out of you, and then I'll get a plane back.
Yeah. Right, I'm pink then.
The Great Slab. Screw off.
That's your D20 now, Gax.
I mean, I like it, but I'm going for what appears to be cricket ball size. That looks about right. Get a good fistful.
Take somebody's eye out of that.
Nah,
And
see,
just
if it
go
was
out with
smaller, you could take someone's eye out. This is too big. It's fine.
that would just fracture their ocular socket.
Yeah, fractured orbital, no problem.
Orbital, yeah.
I have 3 XP. Should I spend them? I forget how I spend them.
I put a load of ways you can spend it in the Discord.
Yeah.
You can get a permanent long-term character advancement bonus, but otherwise, kind of 1, 2, 3 different temporary or immediate things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm way before. Okay, I'm going to say it now. My flex skill today is focusing on Numenera.
Not understanding Numenera.
Yeah, that thing. Being teed.
Best to be specific.
You can do that, yeah.
Yeah. What I said the other day, it will default to be understanding Numenera.
Mm-hmm.
Not, being teed in veterinary or something to save my cat. I did save my cat, didn't I?
I think so. Gave him his 3 hit points back.
Is it louder when you make it bigger?
No.
No, it's the same sound.
On this side of the table, I can hear the big one, but not the small one.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I keep deleting things because I'm pressing the WASD keys after I've clicked a box.
I'm sorry. What did you lose, Gex?
My hat.
Oh, you know what your hat does, right?
Yeah. But I think I've already deleted the actual card that I had it written on as well. For the same reason.
Do you want me to type it back up for you?
No.
You know what it does, it's fine. Right?
Yeah.
Oh. If I put that there and then do... Oh god, that's gone.
Did you flick it? Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't understand how flick worked. I thought, oh, I'll try it.
Yeah, flick's great. So if you move the arrow less distance, it flicks less far, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's way better. Oh, where'd my dice go?
It's over here in the ether.
Oh yeah, I see it. Mine.
All right. Cool. I think I'm done making some nice ciphers that I can possibly give to you at some point.
So
Just I wanted to have a couple at hand.
So if we done our long rest, we could just clear the boxes. Right?
Yeah, so if you've done basically once you've crossed off all 4, you've spent all 4 over whatever that is, 10, 11 hours, which I'm happy for you to do that while you're
We did it
staying
at
in
the
this
end
inn.
last time, I believe.
That's exactly it. So you can clear all those boxes.
Cool.
All right. So I believe last night you had found an inn in Senston. I cannot remember the name of that inn. It doesn't matter.
Sure, I've got it here. Can't read my own writing.
No, I believe Sam and Gex. So we've got Arnold and Doctor Hector. We're going to stay indoors.
Yeah.
Were you lighting a fire?
We'll try. If there's a fireplace inside, seems reasonable.
Certainly is.
Draw
Yeah.
the curtains, maybe. Draw the curtains, bar the doors, so we're safe. And Gav can go screw out in the stable.
And Brother Elias was going to sleep with the Anine out in the stable.
The less said about that, the better.
And the night, as I said, the night does come in cold, and lighting the fire makes some difference there. But regardless, there's something kind of, it doesn't sit easily with you sleeping in a village that will has seen such horror in the day before. Sleeping in a room that should be busy and full of life and laughter and is silent. This kind of uncanniness. The wind is a little too loud. The cold is a little colder than it should be, but you are able to rest and get through the night quite nicely. Did we get any further than that?
No, we went to bed.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
and
don't
I
think
think
so.
that's as far as we got. Yeah, absolutely. And you go to sleep to, as I say, just silence that shouldn't be so silent as it is, but it regardless, it sits in the night, and the stars come out, and above the stable, looking out past through the open door there, Gav, you can see the starts of a few stars twinkling as you yourself drift off into rest in the warmth of the Anine's armpit in the bed of hay.
Snuggly.
You are awakened, all 3 of you, by feeling in the street, in the town square outside of you is the wailing of a young child, and the kind of baffled screaming, almost, this kind of baffled bellowing of an older man who is with the child out in the town square past you. It is by this point morning. The cold of the night has reached your toes, but hasn't really chilled you to any detriment. And the dawn is creeping through the night and breaking the darkness.
I'll give a big knock on the edge of the inn, and I'll kind of gather my things around myself and fix myself up, and then kind of come out from the side lane out towards to the noise.
And you see, as I described, a young child and an older man stood out in the street, stood near the bodies of the Sathosh, which you left displayed in the road, if I recall.
Yes.
Yeah. They have with them, a pack animal, like a horse, with a dead deer strapped across its back. They have bows with them. They are dressed in hunter's garb. The child especially is old enough to take care of itself, but not old enough to live alone. They are dressed in a way that's hard to determine gender or anything like that. They have a grubby face and are bawling. And the man with simply looks confused and baffled and is calling out just in the hope that somebody is going to call back. He's calling, hello, hello. But obviously there is no call.
Yeah, raise a hand as I come into view and kind of wander towards them.
I'll rouse myself and walked out the front of the inn.
And I'll just kind of plod very slowly and non-threateningly towards them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But keep my head low in a kind of a somber tone, as kind of I can tell these are obviously from this village and have returned.
And the kiddie is more or less, they're sat in the dirt by this point, kind of sobbing, but the man's still holding his bow, still holding the rein of his animal, his horse. Will kind of he lets go of the rein and steps over towards you and says, "Who are you? Did anyone make it?"
Oh, good sir, I'm afraid we didn't find any living when we got here last night. It was already late, and we dispatched we dispatched these creatures as we could, but you see the place more or less as we found it.
Oh, gods! Oh, truth be cursed! What nightmares have we come back to?
You're from this village?
I, my wife and son remained behind. I took. We were gone for 3 nights. Came back with food.
Well, come, we'll check your house, and I'll kind of straighten up and plunk my staff in the ground.
Yeah.
Which one is yours?
And he kind of trembling hand points just off a little way to towards a kind of what could be a clutch of houses at the moment. This way, and starts walking towards a couple of them. And he leads you to an area that you did walk through last night, Gav. You did your little patrol, but I recall you didn't stick your nose in every house. You didn't go rooting through everywhere, but you certainly didn't find anyone alive.
Should we?
You did get a crossbow for Gex, I remember.
Yes. Perhaps we should
spears.
Perhaps we should have a look in the house first, just in case there's any, anything untoward.
Yeah, well,
anything he doesn't want to see.
Yeah, that's why I said I'd go with them. So I'm gonna wait until we're by the door, and then I'll go in first, if he's okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's more than happy to let you do that. He points out exactly which house it is, but kind of doesn't want to go in. He stands with a tremor in his hand and on his lip.
I'll just put one chubby, smelly hand on his shoulder and say, "We're here, good man. I'll check it."
The house itself doesn't look to have been disturbed. So unlike some of them which do have blood on the doorstep almost leaking out and windows smashed and things, this one isn't.
I forget, did we actually find bodies?
Yes.
We did, okay. Yeah, and you said it was about
in
half,
some of the houses.
Maybe 100 of the townspeople.
So I think I had to go and think about this, and I think this is probably a village of around 100.
Okay. So would you say we found half of them? You said
probably yes. I think so. Bodies for around half.
Okay.
And some people will have been away. Some people, but crucially, and what seemed striking was how many people had been caught off guard. How many people had been caught unaware. Like these things had moved very quietly from house to house, and no one had really had chance to respond. That you'd seen people had been at food when there'd been food on the table and no signs of struggle in many of the houses.
Yes.
But you come to the house that the hunter has indicated for you, and
I'll give a knock on the door. Say hello, as I kind of open it. We're friends. And I'll open it and stick my head in. making sure I don't open it all the way, just in case.
And the air inside smells, it doesn't smell of death. That's the first thing I need to kind of point out to you, that the air coming through, you don't get that hit of blood that you have from some other places. So that's the first thing to note. You can open through, there's no noise. The other places there is food on the table. There were 2 plates made up with half-eaten meals there on the table.
Okay, well, I'll open the door in that case properly and stand in.
And the room that you come into, as I say, this is one large room that you come into that has space for a fire that's long since gone out, and a dining table and a couple of places to sit, things to be cooked, and then there are 2 rooms through at the back.
Hello? Anyone here? And I'll go towards the back rooms and just quickly check them.
So let's go left or right. Tell you what I'm going to do. Let's go like this. Bear with me. There we go. You're going to go for the left one first?
Yep.
And so you give one of those to somebody, please.
There you go, Gex.
Cool.
Oh shit, Gex has mountains of XP already. Well,
Yep.
Oh, too late. It's not too late, but whatever. And so you open the door to what is clearly the children's room, and greeting you there on the floor in the children's room, by 2 small beds that are stacked up there, are no children that you can see right away, but a woman in her, let's say, late 30s, laying on the floor with a dirty great wound across her neck.
Oh, yeah, that's meant to be for you, Jed. I spent it last week. Somehow it's back on my character sheet.
Okay. What did you spend that on?
I gave it to somebody.
Okay.
I have 0 XP written in my character sheet, so.
Okay.
Okay, so there's. Oh, I spent it on my fighting power.
That's true. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
The wound on a corpse or on a body?
On a corpse.
Oh.
Yeah. And she's dressed simply. She does have a knife in her hand, but it looks like it might have come from the dinner table.
Well,
there is no blood on the knife.
Yeah, I'll kneel down beside her and just check if she's beside a bed. I'll check under the bed, or if there's anywhere where a child could hide.
And looking under one of the beds, you see a face peeping out at you. It's white, it is quivering, tears are running down its face as a little boy is hunched with his knees up to his chest.
Dr. Hector!
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
that is I. I'm coming in.
Yeah. When I see Dr. Hector's face around the corner from it, I'll say, the boy's under the bed. I'm just going to take his mother outside, kind of indicating, stand up and indicate. So what I'm going to do is try get some clothing or a pillowcase or a sheet, and I'm going to drape it over her, pick her up, and carry her out to her husband.
There are bed sheets in there. That's very easy to do.
The boy's in the same room, right?
He's under the bed.
Okay, I'll just sort of kneel and sort of say hello, and just sort of, and I roll a dice or something just to keep him busy.
Yeah, I'm happy to have something like that, or a compass to show him, or something like that.
Yeah, some little trinket I've got just to sort of hold his attention. How old does the boy look?
8 or 9.
Okay, youngin.
Yeah. Younger than the other child that you saw, who was kind of 13 or 14 from the age of them. But this is a little boy with short cropped hair, and his face is covered in tears. He isn't making any noise, but he's shaking, trembling under the bed. But Gav,
What I'm gonna I've changed my mind. What I'm gonna do. Oh, this the stuff on the kitchen table, is there?
Yes, like I say, kind of remnants of a meal, a couple of tables,
Okay, in that case, I'll.
a couple of plates, little bits of food.
Is there anywhere to lay her out in the house?
So there is floor space, certainly.
I'll just put her down on the floor in that case, in the light somewhere by the
Yeah.
window, and I'll call the man in. Come in, good sir. And what I'm going to do is, your boy's safe.
And he looks at you, and there's this moment of kind of hope on his face and relief, and then he realizes what that means.
Yeah.
And he's trying to look past you into the room. And are you going to block his view from?
No. If he looks past, I'll step back and I'll say, unfortunately, your wife didn't fare so well.
And with that, yeah, he kind of pushes past you, sort of thing. He rushes to her and falls to his knees, and you hear this wail, much louder, much more anguish than what you heard him kind of calling with before.
As he is doing that, I want to check the other room that we didn't check, just in case.
Yeah.
Something dangerous still lies there.
And there you go into what would be, you assume, their bedroom. It has a wardrobe. It has a large bed. There are boxes and things, and they're clearly using this room a little bit for storage as well as their bedroom. Nothing seems to be moving in there. Nothing seems to be alive.
Okay.
But you can hear this man now sobbing, and it comes and it goes, and every so often it really bounces up the volume of his cry.
I'll go back out to him, put a hand around his shoulder, and say, "Come, your boy shouldn't see you like this.
Yeah,
you have to be strong for him."
Persuade
and he
the
looks
boys to come out from
around
the
to
bed.
see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'll,
do you want to talk me through it, Kix? What you're going to work with?
If you come out, you can have a go with my hat or something. I'll offer him my hat to play with or something.
And as you talk to him, his eyes kind of focus on you, as if he's only just realised that you're there. Before this, he was still curled up and shaking and sobbing, but he does hear you when you say that.
Hey, there's nothing to be afraid of, kiddo. Your daddy's home.
Apart from crippling depression.
Dad's home?
Not a problem. Yeah, Dad's here.
Dad's home. Dad's home.
Yeah.
And he starts to kind of wiggle and is a little bit stuck under the bed.
Okay. Do you need a hand there, kiddo? And we'll lift that bed up for you.
He doesn't say anything, but I think you can work out that he would really benefit from that.
Okay, I'll just lift the bed up gently so as not to scare him, slowly.
Yeah, and he can wiggle and he can move.
Beckon him over.
You notice that as he's kind of wiggling out, he is going to get himself a little bit in his own mother's blood, and some of that's going to end up on his clothes.
Okay.
And he doesn't, it kind of gets past this point of he doesn't seem to notice that he's in it.
Yeah.
After that point,
can I
like he spent the whole night staring at it.
Take my jacket off. I'll wrap it around him and pick him up, and try and.
Okay.
Where's his mother's corpse? In the other room, or in this?
Gav has. Yeah, so Elias has laid it out in the main room of the house.
Okay.
This is a 3-room house with no upstairs, no bathroom or anything. What's one big room and then two.
What's your name, old timer? By the way.
Are you asking the boy or the?
I'm asking the old man.
Father. He looks up at you from his wife. Are you calling him from the other room, or are you going?
Yeah,
into the main room
I'm hollering him from this room.
Thomas.
And Thomas, what's this fine young man's name? He's eager to see you.
Aspen.
Aspen, do you want to come in here and say hello to Aspen? He's I think he'd love to see you.
And this man's really sobbing. He's really wailing, and then after half a second, you hear his feet scrape against the ground, like he has actually gotten to his feet, and he's really weeping, and you can hear him snuffing and wheezing as he tries to come into the kid's room, and just before he starts to push the door, he takes one monumental inhale, and then takes a second and comes through, and you can see he's trying everything he can to push this down, to hold on to it, and he holds his arms out to take his boy off you.
I'll hand the boy over and discreetly take my jacket off him as I put him in his dad's hands.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. And as he takes his son, the holding on of the tears, just he completely loses it again, and he's holding his boy, and the boy is not crying at this point. This he's silent. As much as he was saying his dad's name, a few seconds before, he's suddenly very silent, very tense and curled up in his dad's arms. And Thomas turns around to walk back through the room and to walk back out into the daylight. Of the village, leave the house.
All right. So Gav, you're still looking in the other room.
Well, I mean, no, that was only like a 10
Okay.
seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
Stick my head in and
So,
just make sure there's nothing dangerous there. I'm gonna walk towards the. I want to walk back out because there's the young hunter, who I assume is a young teenager or whatever. I'm just gonna make sure he's in the room, in the house. If he's waiting outside, I want to usher him in.
So they haven't left the square, and they've stayed. They're there crying, but they've stayed with the horse at the square, which is it's less than 100 meters away, but they haven't come back up to the house.
That's kind of horror story.
During my notable absence from this entire scene, I will have finally left the tavern, I suppose.
Yes, and Sam, as you come out, you see a young person, someone in their mid-teens. Their hair is longish and scruffy, and their clothes are kind of muddy, like they've spent a couple of nights out in the wood. As I say, they're stood next to a horse with what might as well be a deer strung across its back. Bows tied to the saddle, and this person is weeping and wailing at being confronted with dead Sathosh and blood in the streets where they live.
I guess I will give him the most awkward nod in history as I'm gripping my spear and wander over and check on our pack animal and make sure everything is stowed away and ready to move.
The cart is as you left it. I don't know if if you'll have taken.
I think we were
easy enough for you.
I think we were sleeping with the artifact, so I'll make myself busy getting that ready.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, easy to do. Yeah, I think you said you took that into the inn, didn't you? So.
Yes, I'm going to completely ignore this incredibly awkward situation, as I probably would in real life, because I'm terrible at this stuff.
Yeah, upon not finding the boy outside the house, I'm going to stroll back up towards the centre of town, grab him on the horse, and bring him down towards where life remains. Back down towards Thomas's house, asking him his name while we're there and introducing myself. Brother Elias.
Rowan. My name's Rowan. Is my dad there? Is my mum there?
Is
in a manner of speaking.
Is Thomas your dad?
Yeah.
Sweet. What? Okay, I thought you needed one boy. Your little brother's there, and your dad. So come on. Why did you wait up here?
I don't know. I had to take care of the horse.
Will you leave that with me? I'll take the horse down. You run onto your dad. He'll need you now more than ever.
And are you gonna send Rowan onwards?
Yeah, I'll kind of shoo him on, run along there, and I'll take the horse down to tie it up outside their house.
you can more or less see the full way from where you've gotten to
Yeah,
this point.
yeah.
So again, you can walk a little bit slower, and by the time you get there, Rowan is there with his dad, and the two older ones are having a good proper cry now at this point. Thomas and Rowan, and Aspen is still curled up on his dad's knees, not having said anything or done anything. Has stopped shaking and crying and sobbing, but is pretty catatonic at this stage. And then hearing you come up with the horse with the deer tied to its back, Thomas is going to stand and say, "Thank you, stranger, for being here at all."
No worries,
What was
mate.
I going to say?
I
Brother Elias, I'll kind of correct him when he says stranger.
And he'll hold out his hand to shake.
Yeah. I'll put my hand over like both my hands over his, and say, "I'll need you to be a hunter for a few minutes now, and not a father. My friend here, indicating Arnold, will look after the boys and maybe get them food. We'll have to search the rest of these houses. It's something we didn't get a chance to do last night."
And he'll nod in a kind of quivering, rapid way, and look to the quiver of arrows on his horse, and
Yeah, what I'll do is when he looks across, I'll unhitch the quiver and maybe slide the bow out, and I'll place them in his hands.
Yeah.
You're not to worry. And I'll pat my shield. This isn't just for show. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Best to start. There's
We'll check the houses around here to make sure your boys are safe. What we found, we think, are called Satosh. Foully corrupted people.
They've been. We've killed them once or twice, but never this many. Gods, by the truth, how many were there?
Oh,
No.
we saw maybe a dozen.
Oh, one or two come walking this way.
Sorry, you were talking.
No, it's fine. Are you there, Sam? Now, or?
Well, if I'm looking after the kids, I was going to say I'll get my bubble wrap out, and try and entertain the young one with it. Well, not having any idea what to do with a teenage boy. So I don't know.
Oh, here actually, I'll shuffle through my my robes and throw a little. It's a little figurine, about 4 inches tall on a base, and it's got 4 faces on it, and its mouth is constantly moving. The little statue, little blur of motion, and I'll give that to the kids. They'll play with that for ages.
Is that the one that asks questions and interrupts you that I gave you a little while ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if set before a person or people, it will ask them questions, but always interrupt their answers with the loud "woo." So I don't know. Might be funny. Could be horrific if it starts asking them about their dead mom. But
shouldn't I believe those ciphers are single use, right?
Ciphers are single use.
So we should get rid of the frigid wall.
So the frigid wall is gone and used. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ciphers are single use.
Ciphers are single use.
Oh, so both of mine are gone.
So your one that made a defensive shield, I made you roll to see if you broke it because I got that you were just showing it to Sam.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Sorry, I
realized
didn't realize that.
Yeah, we're just showing that to Sam. But
okay, well, there's my frigid wall gone. Jesus. Okay, and the oddities of which this little thing is, they last forever, don't they?
Yeah, and unless I say so, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, ciphers are single use. Artifacts have a duration and a chance to break every time you use them. Oddities more or less last unless GM says otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
story
RP.
reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool,
because
okay.
they aren't mechanically advantageous.
The kid better not lose my fucking bubble wrap.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll explain what I'm doing to Hector and Arnold. Just we're gonna go house to house.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do it quick because we're still on a. Well, the sun's still rising.
I'll come with then.
I'm going to, I guess, after he said that, rally the kids and go to the cart and attempt to give the teenager a pep talk into keeping his eyes peeled and, time to be a man or something. I don't know if you want me to roll persuasion to get him.
I'm not gonna get you to roll anything, Sam, but I'm going to say it goes awkwardly.
We're gonna need to hear the pep talk.
Well, about as awkwardly as that.
no roll, but give us the pep talk.
Can you RP that? Yeah. How do you do it?
I guess, with the little kid distracted with bubble wrap, which I'm assuming is what's happening, I'm gonna really awkwardly slap the teenager on the back in a endearing way, but considering the situation, it really is not endearing.
They cry more.
Yeah, like a "come on, laddie," and slap him on the shoulder, and obviously fail, and then say, "Come on, grip the spear," hand him a spear, and say, "You watch that way, I'll watch this way."
They do take the spear. So Rowan does take the spear when you offer it, but kind of holds it and is more or less leaning on it to stay propped up and is crying the whole time. Aspen, you try to give the bubble wrap to, and you more or less have to push it into his hand.
Yes.
And then he just holds it like you put a stick there. It doesn't really do anything.
Parenting.
In terms of Thomas leading you around the village or getting moving, he moves pretty quickly and with the kind of deftness and kind of care in his foot placement and things that you would expect of a hunter. He doesn't make an awful lot of noise as he's moving, and he obviously knows the village very well. And so what he does is he starts by heading between his house and another to get to the furthest reach of the village to the northwest, and then starts checking windows first, and then kicking doors in. And sweeping it all. He gives you a chance to catch up between Gav and Gex. So he's never there on his own, but he is on it, if you know what I mean. You've seen a switch in the man as he's buried things down, and I think your line about be a hunter and not a father for a minute is it's taken he's taken that to his heart.
Grand, yeah, we're gonna stay within 50 feet of the man, or even closer. You know what I mean? We'll do the houses beside him or whatever.
Yeah, and you're able to, between you, kind of get in and check things out fairly well. Are you just looking for further signs of life, further intruders?
Yeah, and I'm not being gentle with it because I'm very aware that time is against us, and I'm not scared of the Satosh at all.
Okay.
So if I find a Satosh and it surprises me, fair enough. It'll be safer for the people left. But if I find a person, it doesn't really matter if I scare the shit out of them.
Yeah.
That'll be remedied within the moments afterwards, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So in other words, I'm just bursting in every door I can find, doing it quickly.
Yeah.
Look. Yeah.
And Thomas is doing similarly. Like I say, he's moving quietly, he's moving precisely, but he's being efficient and not dawdling, and on the third block of houses that between the three of you're going up to check, somebody opens the door as they get up to it and stands brandishing an axe. And Thomas buckles and kind of bends at his knees a little, and a family is inside. A family of three are inside, and they come out and hug him tightly as they come through. there is briefly some conversation, and it emerges that these seem to be, having been on the northeast side, they had a window at the back of their house, and were able to not to see what was coming, but to kind of. Sorry, I'm just trying to read my own notes to see what happened with this. Yeah, the little boy had seen what was coming, and rather than going to notify anybody, they had hidden inside their house because they had a cellar, this family. Sorry, yeah. And there is a shame in the father's voice as he's telling this, and then as he finishes telling his own story, he looks to Thomas and says, "Oh, and Aspen and Juan?" And Thomas kind of, his face starts to slip, and he starts to, the tears start to come back in, and this father in the house that you found there, the shame on his face is hard to, it's hard to bear in itself. He looks as though he's going to cry himself. And then suddenly he asks, and where's Rowan? And Thomas tells him he's back at the house. Aspen's there as well. And that father bringing out his own wife and child, who's he has a baby with them. They go out and they head in the direction of Thomas's house. Between the three of you, so between Thomas and Brother Elias and Doctor Hector, you're able to kind of head through the rest of the village fairly well. And beyond that, as I say, some of the houses are completely empty. You find a few other dead. But as I say, I would estimate roughly half of the village of 100 are there dead in their homes or near them, having been surprised and undisturbed.
Okay.
The estimation that these things had come from the northeast is not unreasonable, and you can see, looking out that way from the village, there is long grass and farmland, as I've been describing, surrounding this, and then past that, almost at the edge of where you can see, is forestry.
Where did
It would be.
Where did these beasts come from? I'll ask.
There is a kind of, not quite a shrug, but he just gives you a suggestion that he doesn't know. As I say, they roam, but never in any numbers. We pick them off ones or twos, walking the road, walking the fields. Something might get into a barn or take a beast of a night, and we have to bring it down. But they nest somewhere, and we don't know where.
Would you say they've been increasing in numbers recently?
Oh, they're a plague, but over the years, not over the weeks or the months. No real spike. It's not like them to. What do I say? It's not like them. I have no idea what they're like. They eat blood. That's all I know. Never make a noise if they can help it.
Bastards.
And Sam, if you're sat outside Thomas's house with the his two children, as I say, this other family of three come up quietly, and you can hear them moving. They're not moving with any of the quiet of the hunter or your party mates. They're kind of shuffling around, and after a second there, you can hear a baby start to squall in the morning air. And Aspen and Rowan look over to them. No, Rowan looks over to them. Aspen doesn't seem to react to them at all, except that he kind of curls up a bit tighter and his hands move a bit closer to his ears as the baby comes up to them. But these people don't speak to you. They kind of stand awkwardly and eventually sit on a neighbor's porch, looking over towards.
Awkward nods.
Yeah, that's what you get.
And that's what I do. Yes. Maybe start humming to myself some sort of anthem.
And yeah, Sam and Gex, between, as I say, between the three of you, you're able to sweep around the whole of the rest of the village. This is going to take you, actually, probably not more than an hour. And by this time, the sun is well and truly up. You're getting through that kind of post-dawn morning feeling. Birds are starting to come in and over, and by the time you get back around to the town square, they have standed and begun to pick the bodies of the Sathosh that you killed the night before.
I'm wondering,
Um,
where am I with Sam or with Gav or whatever?
you've gone round with Gav and Thomas.
I'm just wondering.
Is that right? Are you happy to have done that?
Yeah. I'm just wondering if Thomas is in a state he could potentially track the Sathosh. We can figure out where they came from. If he's an experienced hunter, we'll protect him, obviously.
He's feeling a bit more lucid by the time you get back to the town square, and he is at this level where he's moving now a bit slower. He's moving a bit closer to you and not breaking off as much. And if you suggest that to him, he'll look over to you and he'll say, "I don't doubt that you could keep me safe, but I need to be here with my children now. Any neighbors that we have, anyone that was away, will be back soon, and as a town, we can't go yet."
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm sure you have your own place to be on the road. People don't stop
we
in
do.
Senston for long.
We do.
This is true.
I do have some things for you before you go. Traveling through on the road, it's dangerous, and these are things I carry out in the woods, but it'll be some time before I'm away again. And he unhitches one of the saddlebags from his horse as you get back to the house. And there are 3 ciphers inside. And I'm going to describe them, and then I'm going to get you folks to look at them, and then you'll be able to roll to see if you can work out what they are.
Okay. Gav, what's
So
your
between-
cipher limit? Do you know? Is it Glaive?
You might all have a limit of
2.
It's a 2 for everyone. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was directed at me. Yeah. So I've
Yeah.
got 2 ciphers at a time.
Yeah.
Is there any... I was thinking about this last week. That's a metagame out of game thing.
Yeah.
There's no reason why that is the thing.
to have a limit of ciphers.
Yeah.
Right. So I was actually just reading this section in the rule books. So what does it say?
Something about they affect each other or something. So you can only something like that.
So
Is it equipped? Or?
The flavor logic is that these things are in themselves technologically volatile, whether it is that they are radioactive or they have electromagnetic fields or they chemically decay or something like that. Keeping too many of them together tends to be bad for them and bad for you. However, if you look on page 274 of the PDF, 272 of the rulebook, it says the limit on ciphers is more of a gameplay mechanism than a setting or flavor issue. Basically, it's bad for the game if PCs hoard ciphers because they're meant to be used.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Cool. And so
Yep.
Yeah. If you want, I can give you reasons as to why. There is a table on the next page of things that happen if you have too many of them.
I'm just waiting to see if I'm going to discard a cipher to pick up one of these, basically.
Yeah.
I have no problem with the limit. I'm just curious.
He lays out 3 things on a cloth on the ground. He lays out a ring with a purple gem on it. A metallic sphere which has a sliding section which looks like it's locked in place, this sliding section, but you could unlock it quite quickly. And a small reflective cube, and it is kind of scored and deeply grooved, this cube.
Ruby cube.
Yeah, a bit like a Rubik's Cube is a good way to put it, but it's shiny and reflective.
Are we able to tell any? Well, if
yes,
ask them what they are.
Well, what are these mysterious items, brother?
Oh, well, see now this one, and he points at the ring and says, "This one, I think should. It's a bit of a defensive one. It'll knock something out." Pointing at the ring. Pointing at the kind of metal sphere. This one's more aggressive. It'll put a hole in things, I think.
Ooh.
And this one, and he points at the cube there. This is one I've had for a while, but I think the fella I got it off said it was good for good when you needed an extra pair of hands. Good when you yeah.
Mage hands. Can I investigate?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Does he mind if I touch?
Yeah, no, he's fine. He's offering to give them to you, so you can
Yeah.
reach down and you can take a look at them. Which one do you want to try? And I'd get rolls for each one, if you know what I mean.
I'm going to look at the ring, I think.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Kind of pick it up and
Is that the thing
poke
that
it
puts
and-
holes in things?
The ring
No.
was for knocking
Defensive.
something out.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Look at it. Is it shiny?
So the band of it is a kind of dull metal, but the gem is quite a distinctive purple. You can probably work out what that is. You were trained in that today, weren't you?
Yes.
So in which case I can give you this for free because it goes down by 1 difficulty. The purple is distinctly associated with knocking things unconscious, and if you were to strike something with that, it would probably release some kind of gas or toxin that if you were to hit a living thing, it would put them to sleep.
Okay. Cool.
It would be a sleep inducer is
Yeah.
the proper term for it.
I will reveal that to everyone. We'll say it's a knockout ring.
Can I investigate the thing that puts holes in things?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I've kind of described it there to you. But yeah, it's, and when I say it's a small sphere, it's maybe the size of a cricket ball, to give it to you as an out of character description.
Oh, I absolutely want that.
Okay. Do you want to make a roll to try and work out what it is? I am going to make you roll for this.
That's a British unit of measurement, isn't it?
Oh, I got a 3.
Cricket ball.
Is a cricket ball the same size as a shinty ball?
I don't know what
I
shinty
guess
ball
so.
is. I rolled a 3.
Yeah, beyond what I've told you, you're not going to be able to work out kind of exactly what it does.
That's cool.
I'll kind of lean over and take a look over it and go, let me have a look.
Yeah, a shinty ball is about the same size that I'm thinking of there, Gav. You know, it's easy to throw or manipulate accurately.
Yeah. No,
I flicked an 8.
Yeah, again, you've knocked it down by 1. Is that enough? That's not quite enough with an 8. Nearly though. Yeah, like I say again, it's the sort of thing. It would be easy to throw. It would be easy to activate in the same motion as throwing, from what you can tell.
The thermal detonator. I don't know. Gav, I recommend using intelligence on it.
Yes. I'm fucking terrible. I'll take a look though. I'm ignorant in all things Numenera.
Yeah.
So does that push them up, or does it mean I just cannot roll?
So other than for Sam, I'm putting them up a difficulty anyway, because that's standard. You have an inability in working out stuff in the Numenera unless you're trained in it. So it is difficult to work out what they do.
I have a question.
Anyway,
yeah.
I have. You go.
No, I just rolled an 11, so that's not going to pass either.
11 would have done it for Sam. I think for Gex as well. Well, Gex, you rolled a 3 if I recall, so that wouldn't have done it. I have to tell you, I'm afraid.
I have 4 XP. That means I can
spend 1 to reroll.
Train in a skill or specialize in a pre-existing skill.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
So by training in a skill, what does that mean? I become trained in a skill I don't have.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, or specialized in a skill you do have.
So what's the difference between specialized and trained? I forget.
So specialized is 2 assets,
and trained is 1.
Trained is 1. Yeah.
I would like to specialize in understanding Numenera, please.
Cool. Yeah, give me 4 XP.
There you go. Unfortunately, I've already rolled.
Well, it's fine. Would that have affected it?
You mean
with the 3, no.
No, it says train in a skill or specialize in a pre-existing skill. So specialize is better than trained.
Yes, and you've just gone from an I, so I think it would be a T.
Jed, could you rule on that?
If you've gone from an I, that's an inability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says train in a skill or specialize in a pre-existing
I think
skill.
I reckon that's
Because-
So an
4 for 1, 4 for the next.
inability is you are not skilled in this
Right.
thing. You have an opposite of that.
Yeah.
And everybody has an inability in Numenera unless they are trained in it. So I'm going to rule that that's not a pre-existing skill. You will go to trained in Numenera
Okay. Cool. Thank
Yeah.
you.
rather than specialized.
That is cool. Would that have made that wouldn't have made a difference on my roll?
Not on a 3, I'm afraid. If
That
Sam
is
didn't make it
fine.
on
No,
an 8.
I just got a level 1 roll. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want to look at this other thing as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I say, this is it's a bit like a Rubik's cube, but it's quite shiny. In kind of deep grooves, and the grooves aren't as regular. They are, kind of a bit more intricate.
Well, I
I'm
could do a
going to
Rubik's cube.
use.
And
Hang on.
okay.
I'm going to use, because I have edge in intelligence, I'm going to use an effort. So that's 2, isn't
Yep.
it, instead of 3?
Yep,
And
use 2 points
I'll
to intellect.
make a roll on it. So that's
Yep.
like I'm specialized in it. And I rolled a
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, easy peasy. So actually, what this is, I'm just going to give you the card. If you have rolled a 20 there, that's fine, and I'll let you read it.
Do I get anything special because I just rolled a 20?
Yeah, you should get GM intrusion. Tell you what, you are also going to get an inkling as to the other one. Having rolled a 20, good player intrusion is just not to give you an instant success, but yeah, you're along the right lines with this other device that you were looking at. In terms of, if I tell you it is good for throwing and good for putting holes in things,
Yeah.
you're definitely thinking along the right lines with that.
So I'm going to be like, I think it's some sort of grenade. I don't know how you activate it. Maybe you throw it.
And Thomas is going to nod and be like, yeah.
Seems
Yeah, okay.
legit.
Cool. So
Yeah.
keep that card hidden, Jed. I assume we're going to take this thing, and one day we'll throw it, and something will happen, and it'll be hilarious.
I'll throw it at the first opportunity.
I totally think we should take it
so
without knowing what it is.
You guys are going to take are you going to take all 3 of them then?
Yeah. I'll just.
What was the ring? I succeeded on that. I didn't get to read it.
Yep.
Right, let's put them next to each other so we can read them. Wearable ring with purple gem
Touching.
Yep.
Ooh, a small humanoid automaton.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna stick my speed booster in my leg just for shits and giggles. You
Yeah.
can have that back.
I would.
There you go. There you go.
And I would
feel, yeah, Sam, this is the best cup of coffee you've ever had. It's like that.
Can I use my
1
visual
hour.
displacement device to project a holographic image of myself, and then I'll
Just
take
to-
I'll take the explodey thing.
on seeing you start to blur and there being multiples of you, Aspen begins to cry again for the first time since you got him.
Oh, don't worry, kiddo. It's just a magic trick. I do this to entertain all the kids or something. I'll teach you to do it one day when I come back here.
Does anyone want to take the ring? Gav, you've used your things. You should take the ring for definite.
Well, I can't know if it'll fit my fat hands. Okay, yeah, I'll take it and thread it onto.
Put it on your little toe or something.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything I'm saying now is really, really fast, a bit like this. After my injection. I'm going to turn around and go, right, guys, I don't mean to be a little bit insensitive, but I think we should really be getting going.
And I have +1 speed edge, so I guess I can run really fast towards the cart.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, I'll go into the stable or head towards the stable. Say goodbye to Thomas. Ignore the other coward who hid in his house.
Yeah, what scumbag.
And I'll, get the Anine. What the fuck are they called again?
Archibald, yeah. Archibald.
Yeah,
Archibald ready, and I will get him hooked up, and
Thomas manages to hold it together for long enough to kind of see you out of the stable and wishes you all the best.
I'm going to shake his hand really fast and aggressively.
if we're passing this way again, we'll drop back in.
Perhaps you should arrange a burial before letting the kids back in the house. Just saying.
And yeah, he nods as you say this. He says, we have our ways around here.
Before we leave, could you tell me what the population was of this village? I know that's incredibly insensitive to ask, but I'm still going to ask it.
He starts to kind of count on his fingers and points around, and you can tell he's kind of looking around like nobody's actually asked him this, but he knows everyone there. And this is the kind of thing, and his lips are mumbling as though he's saying the names of different houses. And well, I would say, well, we lost Maeve's. When I left last, 85, 90.
I'm going to scribble that in my notebook of the incident for telling the authorities at some point.
Nerd.
And you're able to get the cart back hitched up and set your Anine back on the way. And as I said, it was what did I say, about 100 meters from the edge of the village of Senston to the main road running southward towards Iron.
Let's get it.
And this should be, because you made very good progress on the first day on the road, you're probably looking at another day's ride before you reach the hills. And then once you've traversed the hills, the hills are going to take a little bit of work because the road gets narrower, it gets windier, things get steeper, and so you won't be able to keep up the same kind of pace at all. But then from there, it's a straight just descent, and you'll be reaching Iron very quickly with that. So if you make good pace today, you could be getting into town by the end of, maybe not by the end of tomorrow, but by,
well,
very early on your third day.
Since we went hell for leather on the first day, let's just take it at a comfortable trot, a easily sustained trot for the Anine, just so it's a brisk pace.
And I'll get out and walk when we get to the hills.
Yeah, well, that'll put you. I think if you're picking a kind of gentle, steady pace, that'll put you within sight of these hills by the end of the day. As I said, the road is populated with quick detours and things like that. So there will be places you can stay. There are roadhouses and inns and things.
Just before we get into having left, I want to have taken my bubble wrap back, and I
yes,
don't care if the child cried.
Yeah. He was already crying because Gex was crazy blurring, and
Okay, cool.
didn't really notice you just latching out of his hand.
I'll leave the spear for the teenager and say he can have it.
Okay.
So I have 6 spears now.
And they kind of struggle out it. Thank you. and you leave this weeping village of Senston and get back on the road. And it looks like it's going to be quite a nice day. Again, those days of early winter where the air is cool, but it's bright. The clouds are few and distant. Keeping to the high ground there as you come back up into the kind of late season farmland, and as I say, kind of harvest has been underway. You're now getting to a point where some of the fields are bare, they have been stripped, they have been harvested, they have been plucked, and some are waiting for it, and fat gourds and pumpkins kind of sprout in among that. There's a field that you come to, barely half an hour after getting back onto the main road, has what it probably functioning as a scarecrow, but it's standing as though it were a cow on stilts. It has very long legs and a lolling leg, a lolling head, made of a sock and some old sailcloth and rope, which is catching the wind and swinging around in a way that could probably pluck off the heads of any birds that came too near to it. Reach down and bite them. This thing kind of stands still, but still shifts in the morning breeze and ripples and twists. There is one field that you come across that things are grown in perfectly neat rows, and another where things are grown in a spiral pattern, a twisting out. anti-clockwise and shifting around there. And as you look away and as things kind of come into the corner of your eye, you're not sure whether the spiral itself is actually turning. As the as though the dirt itself were moving the plants around, but when you turn back to look at it, it's fixed in place. Early enough, the road is quiet, but by the time you get to the next set of buildings, there is an inn not that much further along, another inn. People are disembarking, and so your first group of people are travelers, a small caravan of merchants carrying caged livestock that you can't quite make out. Things are covered and coated in clear synth, and you can't quite make out what's going on there. The merchants themselves are hooded, not just against the cold, but they're the hoods are pulled down and they're probably wearing masks, but they are going the other way and don't look to you. You pass that inn and the fire is lit, and you're reminded that you haven't had a hot meal in a day or two now. Your last hot meal was at the guest house in Orilla, if I recall. But you have been able to have snacks and rations and things on the trail.
Yeah, good bag of trail mix.
Would you like to do anything across the day as you travel and as you ride?
No, I'll be taking turns, basically walking behind the cart, keeping an eye out and just scanning the horizon and the trail ahead and behind us. Nothing really apart from that.
I'll be studying a book on nautical knots and spending some time with my 10-foot of string making some knots.
Yeah, good.
In the back of the cart.
And Gex, I assume that you're driving the Anine again.
Sure.
You happy to be doing that?
Smoking a cheroot, driving the Anine, whistling tunelessly.
Yeah, all reasonable ways to pass the time.
Keep my eyes on the horizon just in case.
Yeah, but things come and pass. Either sides of the road, the traffic is mostly farming traffic. It's farmers driving animals. It's farmers and their families picking crops up and out. Your hay that you've spread across the tarp on the back of your cart is, covering up and to your own eyes at least probably makes you blend in. There's no reason from the lookout that your cart would stand out any more than anybody else's who might be transporting plant material or livestock there. Notably, you haven't seen anybody. Orilla was quite the melting pot of different tribal groups, different ethnicities that were demarcated in terms of their style of dress and their uniforms, so to speak, kind of traditional dress. You don't see as many people as you might expect out on the road in Malay, out on this road at least, until as things come to pass. That is until, as I say, kind of late afternoon now at this point, and you're riding along the side of a lake at the side of the road, and then the shores of the lake. It's not huge, but it's enough to lap ever so slightly as the breeze catches it, and things lap so that they are 2 or 3 meters from the side of the road, and it's the sort of place that if you were to stop, your Anine would be able to stop to drink there with it all. And I'm aware that I've already done one of these, but Gav, you're going to have another intrusion on this. I'd like you to give one of these cards to somebody else.
Yeah, it can be Sam's turn this time.
Did I give you 2 there? Yeah.
Did I just throw that away?
One landed right next to me.
Oh, it landed right there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. As you notice on the other side of the lake, 3 young women, and they are blonde, they are slim, they are young, they are undressing from ceremonial gowns and kind of dousing them into the lake. These are white gowns with some embroidery, and they are washing them in the lake. They're across from me.
Oh, well,
You
I'll
know,
have to
they
take a moment to
they
jump back
sing
up
and
on
they have a
the.
kind of brightness to them as they work, as they wash.
Nuns, reverse.
Smeg me. There's nothing better than the clergy.
I'll jump back up on the back of the cart and just daydream to myself as I watch these young girls wash themselves.
Maybe we should take a break here. A bit.
I'll lick my fingers, smooth out my eyebrows, and tilt my hat at a slightly more edgy angle.
Jaunty angle.
Yeah.
You come a little closer, and you can see across the way at them. There's two reasons that I gave this over to you, Gavin. It's because of your kind of interest in religion. There's two things that really do catch your eye in terms of the way that they're dressed, let alone these being kind of nouveau young women. One is these gowns have embroidery, kind of here, there, and everywhere, and you can make out dark hands and golden moons and green flowers and green kind of plants.
And does any of this
embroidered
mean anything to me?
in a motif there for you. The other thing that you will notice are, and this is what they appear to be washing off, is spatters of blood, especially around the hems and at the cuffs on the sleeves of these gowns.
Leading me to believe they were doing the bloodletting.
In terms of working out what the hands and the moons and the plants might mean, would you like to make a roll with that? Or I know you are interested in these things.
I'll make a religion roll. I assume it's some sort of feminine cycle.
Yeah, you're
thing.
yeah.
Let's drop a intellect roll.
It would be an intellect roll, yeah.
So
knowledge on this.
I'm going to spend 3 points because I've no edge, but I am trained in knowledge religion.
Yeah.
Religions. Roll of a 7 after. Yeah.
That's fine. With training and a point of effort, you've kind of worked this out. This is some kind of this is very clearly some kind of harvest ritual. The moon, the yellow moon in particular, would denote this kind of harvest moon for this time of year, and some kind of fertility ritual, related to the planting of crops, and the consequently the blood would denote sacrifice as being associated with that. And the women are singing, and they are kind of laughing gaily to themselves and between each other. And after a moment, are you stopping? Are you stopping the cart there to
I'm
allow
not inclined to ask the men to stop the cart because we've already undertaken something that needs to be done.
Mhm.
Is my take on this. Assuming this, I'm innocently, I suppose, assuming that any sacrifices being made are, animal sacrifices. I don't exactly know how the whole concept of sacrificing stuff is still around, but yeah. I'm viewing it as an innocent scene opposed to, maybe they just killed somebody in their village or whatever.
And Sam and Gex hearing 3 young women singing and being scantily dressed on the other side of the lake. Are you inclined to stop the cart for a moment?
Yes.
Gex in particular, you are driving.
Well, Archibald could probably do with watering. We'll water the inine.
You'll stop there, and so
yes.
As you come forward and stop and allow your inine to come and drink at the lake, the young women they laugh and they wave across at you.
I'm going to do that classic pointing at myself and then wave back. Me? Oh, hello.
How close are we?
Let's say it's 15 meters across. It's enough that if you were to shout, you could hear each other quite well.
Ho there, ladies!
So you're on the side of the road, and they are, across the lake from you. You're going to call to them, and they'll call back, or one of them will call back, and she'll say, "Hello."
Fine, lovely weather we're having.
Grand day for a sacrifice.
Are you saying that to them?
Would you?
No. Or I'm muttering it if I am.
And if you call back with that Gex again, they will laugh between them, and kind of talk briefly. You can see them, but you can't quite hear what they're saying. And the same one will call back, and she'll say, "Are you stopping long?" Ha 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 ha! And this kind of tittering laughter again.
Oh no, we're just giving the old beast a rest. By that I mean the Anine.
Ha 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 ha! But it is late. Do you have somewhere to stay? And it is getting on into the afternoon. You'll need to think about kind of stopping. You'll need to start thinking about stopping over the next couple of hours. You don't need to do that yet. Need to.
I'll whisper to Arnold like, I got a bad feeling about this.
Lancelot. Getting fucking Monty Python vibes off this.
Oh yes, a spanking.
Yes, that's exactly the vibes I'm getting.
Good.
Well, what's his name? Shit. Elias, you want to go say hello? They look like your weirdo religious. I mean, your virtuous religious types.
Just going to be completely awkward. Stood holding my spear in between my legs. As if I'm very sexually frustrated.
Yeah.
What about the box?
What
What
box?
box? Oh yes, the box. Yes.
The box. The reason we're on the road.
Oh yeah, that thing. Shit. I had box on the brain.
Easily distracted.
And the call will come back across the lake and say, "If you need somewhere to spend the night, our village is very close." And you can see just past the lake again a similar kind of side track off, similar to the one that led you into Senston. Will down and along and probably down a little bit lower ground, just past you. Probably you can work out that it'll go downhill in that direction. So you can't quite see a village, but you can work out where there could be one.
I don't know about
That
you
makes
guys, but
what is your village called? I will shout.
What is it called? I didn't write that down. Damn.
Edale.
Sorry, give me 2 seconds because it's called Haralstead.
Have I heard of it?
No, you haven't. But there's no reason to even being kind of Glaive localish. There are so many little settlements and little towns and villages here and there.
There's nothing notoriety about it. Its name.
Right.
No, it's not. A kind of cursed location.
Right, guys.
Okay.
We already had one. Well, it wasn't really much of a delay in the village, but still, it was a delay and a delay at the inn. And I'm getting bad vibes off these ladies. This looks like the classic honeypot technique. I'm concerned with our valuable cargo. We probably shouldn't be hoodwinked by some beautiful women. I reckon we don't spare the lash and spend the next couple hours getting away from here and find some place to stay.
I tend to agree.
Regrettably, I don't agree, but I suppose 2 to 1.
No,
About to pressure.
persuade me.
Well, Arnold, I think we all see how this will play out anyway. Should you go into town?
Yes.
If it is as innocent as it seems, then you'll probably just put your foot in it and make a mess of it. And if it's not as innocent as it seems, as Hector thinks, then we'll have saved you some calamity.
Say you'll come. We're having a party tonight.
Oh, a sexy party. Definitely nothing
They're
suspicious
having a
about
party, brother.
That
There's a
does sound
party in my
quite
pants.
tempting, and I do like the idea of honey that somebody mentioned. I do like honey, but we just don't have time to stop.
Ugh.
Really, we've taken the man's money. We should at least take
that.
his job as seriously.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, dude.
Yeah. Okay. I
And
agree.
I'm not leaving the back of the cart. Well, you know, if it involves shouting, I will.
Another day, ladies.
We'll hit you on the backside. I mean, we'll hit you on the way back.
Oh, I hope that's not too late.
And Archibald away. Let's go.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
I'll awkwardly wait as we leave.
I'll tip my hat.
So that's fine. And you can ride on a little way, and you can find.
Find a nice
As I say,
camping spot,
you've come
maybe?
to kind of a high point on the main road, and maybe a third of a mile, a little bit further on. Sorry, there 2 seconds. I'm looking through this next bit of my notes. Then a little bit of a third of a mile later on, the ground opens up and down and past you, and you can see a small collection of buildings that spread either side of the road up ahead of you, and there are lights on and fires lit there. Things starting to set up, and you can see outside one particular one a collection of carts and travellers that may be coming up and through.
We stay here for the night then?
Can do.
Yes.
Somewhere safe and
And as
reasonably
you-
defensible.
And as you're riding down along there, you're coming kind of close to it, and you can see the first thing you see is a road sign that says Tonner's Roadhouse. What does it say? Tonner's Roadhouse, 200 meters. And you can work out exactly which building that is based on it being 200 meters and which side of the road it is.
Yep.
From the shape of things, there are multiple carts and things parked outside there. Tonner's Roadhouse. Let me get my notes for that.
So it looks busy with multiple carts around and everything.
Yeah, this is fairly busy, and it looks to be busy with travellers. There are a couple of other, like I say, some seem to be stores and shops that maybe cater to travellers or buy and sell things, and some appear to be just houses for locals.
Are we sure this is better than staying with those lovely, beautiful women?
No.
You might get a better night's sleep. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to bed with a fucking 3-wood in my pants. This puppy ain't going nowhere.
It's probably the bumps of being on the road all day.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the cart vibrations. Yes.
It's trauma to the prostate. Yeah, let's stay.
It's having made a teenager cry that very morning.
Always great. So,
But yeah,
camp here?
you can kind of saunter into this little town, and most things seem to be Tonner's something. Whether that's Tonner's store or Tonner's Roadhouse or Tonner's Tonner's farrier that has a forge. And there's a blacksmith there, but the blacksmith is whipping this hammer that seems to have, every time it lifts, every time it comes down, it is arcing great bolts of lightning that come out of it and bringing them down into the steel that he's striking there. You notice coming closer, and as you pass by, that the smith, only his arm is actually out, and he himself is standing inside a cage of copper mesh. And then he has a kind of big heavy rubber glove, in the hand that holds the hammer, but it's coming down, and it's every time it goes near a wall, it is jetting off lightning into the nails of the wall, and the wood in his forge, the wood that holds support to the roof and things are all, tarred, burnt black, but it strikes down very hard and no louder than it should, but it kicks off a lot of light and a lot of sparks every time it strikes.
Exciting.
With that, but the roadhouse itself seems, as I say, kind of busy, not too loud, not nearly as loud and bustling as the quiet corner was, but as I say, kind of, lots of folks have stopped there, and there are animals, Anine, Thuman, and horses, and kind of other animals tied up outside with various carts.
Does everyone look, people on the street look reasonably friendly? There's no one looking suspicious about.
Give me perception rolls, everybody.
Ooh, I am trained.
You are trained, yeah.
15.
3.
Right, so Sam and Gav, you fellas are kind of tired and kind of looking over your shoulders back towards these ladies of Hurlstead. We're trying to remember the song that they were singing, which is rapidly going out of your head, but the kind of sound of their laughter really isn't. Gex, you can get a good sense of the scene here. And most of the crowd sitting outside Tanner's Roadhouse and kind of, sitting on the porch or setting up on tables. It's been a cold, warm day, so people are bringing out cloaks and things, but it's dry in the air, so people are choosing to sit outside with hot drinks and hot meals being brought out to them. Most of them do simply appear to be merchants. They are dressed with cloaks over town clothes rather than being country folks. You can tell the difference in terms of the way that they are dressed. Of the crowd, only one group really stands out to you as being different than that. They are down at the southern end of this kind of porch veranda area with the seating, at least outside of Tanner's, and they are. Give me 2 seconds because I've got them written down here. They are wearing a similar kind of tan and khaki to what you were wearing and to what Arnold was wearing and what you might have seen Droflash wear at some point as well. The sort of thing that you will actually associate with archaeologists and contracted explorers and like. And they are looking over documents, maps. Kind of leaning down and looking in on them. Again, they have hot drinks coming out to them, but they aren't dressed in the heavy cloaks and furs that the cold evening seems to be requiring of everybody else.
Those guys over there look interesting. I have something in common with them.
I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or not in this line of business.
Yeah, definitely might not be.
Last thing we need is another bloody Droflash.
We're trying to avoid pursuit, and if they look like they're into their Numenera, they could be very interested in what we're carrying.
Yes.
Indeed. What other options do we have? Back to the women?
I trust these guys more than the women.
God damn.
Well, why don't one of you go get us a room, and I'll carry the case up to the room.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. Well, I'll keep an eye on these guys. Just see if they do anything shifty. How's that? I'll just sort of stand near the bar and order a drink, maybe? Inquire about a room?
So you're going to tie the horse? Not the
Yeah.
horse, the Anine.
Yeah.
I'll stay with it.
You're going to stay with it, Sam.
I'll stroll over to a vacant table and wait for service. How's that? Sit down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can see people are kind of coming in and going out, but the staff aren't looking at you right away.
That's fine.
Gav, what did you say you were going to do?
Staying near. So
staying near the cart.
Yeah, at the back of the cart, pretty much, leaning against the box.
Yeah. Okay. So the two of you are going to stay with that. And Gex is going to go and just sit at a table.
And smoke a cigarette or something. Wait for service.
You notice, I mean, people are coming in and out of, getting up from their tables and going inside.
Ah,
It
okay.
seems to be to order.
Fair enough. In that case, I'll casually get up as though I meant to do this the whole time, and I'll stroll inside to the bar.
Yeah, and inside the roadhouse is warm. It is warmer than you've been all day. This is it's not packed to the rafters, kind of busy, but it's people are chattering. It's fairly loud. The fire is lit, and there is a good solid smell of a kind of meaty stew
Ooh,
filling the air.
mystery meat.
Foods and things like that. Give me 2 seconds, because I'm going to deal you a couple of XP. Give one of them to somebody if you would.
All right. What have we got here? Gav, you got any XP?
I might. Yeah, I've got one.
Okay, I have another.
Thank you.
But as the reason I'm doing that is as you step into the bar and as you push the as you push past the swinging door and stand to take in the room, you carry on walking slightly and bump into a tall gentleman with a shaved head. And he is wearing the kind of leathers that you would associate with a caravan staffer, a kind of professional road traveler, rather than a merchant per se or anything like that. This man has spent a lot of time out on the road, kind of chewing dust and whipping animals, and you spill a tankard of ale out of his hand. You knock into him in such a way that his drink falls.
Watch where
And
you
this
go,
man
pal.
looks on you. I'm going where I please, pal.
Well,
and his hand comes up and flicks you on the chest.
God.
You've spilled my ale.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't stand us so close to the door next time, Egypt.
We're in an inn. It's busy. You want to come in here to this inn, to Tanner's Roadhouse, you've got to watch where you're going. You've got to apologise for spilling people's ale. And you notice here that he was drinking alone. There's a couple of other folks, people who aren't dressed exactly the same. They don't have the same kind of badges on their vest, but they are similarly weathered on the face.
What does the badge look like?
This guy has a badge that just kind of looks like a cartwheel. The other fellas around him kind of have badges that they're not badges that you have seen before, but they, he's wearing kind of simple uncolored leathers, but he has I tell you what, you got quite a high roll on your perception.
I would say it's safe to assume he's some kind of caravaneer.
Knob.
Yeah, this is a badge that you've seen on the side of a wagon outside. The same logo that you've seen painted on the side of a wagon.
Easy,
and
pal.
As are the others.
Easy, pal. I'm just passing through. Sorry about your drink.
Pass careful. Tell you what, you can buy me a new one. A good one.
I'd love to, but I'm kind of strapped.
Give me something like a deception roll here.
Okay.
Something like a deception roll. Give me, because I know that
18.
Oh.
Fair bit of cash.
No shins. You'll have a hard time paying for anything then.
Oh yeah, I know the owner. Wink.
This guy's kind of looking at you, and he takes a few steps to get between you and the bar, and he's squaring up his chest here now. Well, if you know the owner, you can arrange to get me one on the house then, can't you?
Can I see any of this through the windows or anything?
You can give me a perception roll, but
Yeah.
it's going to be difficult.
10.
No, you cannot. As far as you're aware, Gex, he's been gone a few minutes because he went sat outside again for a moment, but you've got no idea he is inside.
I throw the mystery ball at his nads. No, I don't. I don't. It's like, look, fine, whatever. If I give you some money, will you leave me alone?
Well, you could buy a drink.
I'll buy you a drink. Come to the bar with me. We'll get a drink.
You've ruined my evening with my friends now. Perhaps you could buy a drink for me and my friends.
I don't see any friends over there.
There's 3 other fellas that were standing near him.
Not part of the deal. Sorry, bro. Didn't knock their drinks over. Well, it can be arranged.
I'm going to get you to make one more before because I don't want this to go into initiative, but yeah, I'm going to get you to make one more like a kind of just what would be a charisma roll. I'd make it sort of thing. I'd make difficulty for Sam, but
is that an intellect?
It would be intellect. Yeah.
Okay. I'll use effort, spend 2 points, and just sort of ease the roll.
Yeah.
That I'm not counting. That didn't work. Hold on.
No, I won't count that. Don't worry. It wasn't really a roll.
Just kind of twitched it. 1.
Yeah, cool. All right. You're looking around him, having mentioned his friends, and you feel an empty tankard collide with the side of your head.
Ow.
Ooh.
Yeah, that having been a 1, I didn't want to do that, but that's how it goes. Would you like to roll initiative, or would you like to just hit the ground?
I'm not gonna fucking hit the ground and curl up like a bitch. I'm sorry.
Proper order.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's fine.
11.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so this thing kind of clatters into the side of you. You will take 2 points of might damage. Do you have any armor on there?
Yes, I have light armor. So armor 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that 2 points anyway, just for it being a sucker punch.
Yep, fine.
For the time being, and then, but yeah, you're aware of what's going on hereafter. Give me 2 seconds. This guy is okay. Yeah, fine. Yeah, this kind of meathead fella, and his friends have turned around and they go, "Hit him again, Bill! Hit him again, Bill!" And he's
don't hit him
gonna
again, Bill.
he's gonna wind back as if he's gonna punch you again, but it's your turn first.
If I were to pick up a chair and hit him with it, what sort of damage are we looking? Would that be a medium weapon? Is that something I can do?
I'm inclined to call a chair a medium weapon, yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'd like to grab the nearest chair and just smack him with it.
Yeah, give me an attack roll.
Is that a might roll?
I will. Yes, that would use might. Yes.
Ooh. I won't ease it
and
on
it's
this attack.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
9.
9 is what you need to hit this guy.
Oh, nice.
He's not particularly kind of fancy or anything like that. He's just he's the Numenera equivalent of a trucker.
So yeah.
The chair comes clean onto him, and rather than like you not buckling or going down to the ground there, it hits him pretty hard, and he is knocked down to one knee. He hasn't dropped his tankard yet, and he's going to swing at you, but I'll make it a point easier for you to defend. This man doesn't drop his drink. Well, it's empty anyway.
I've already spilled it.
Yeah, make a speed defense roll.
So just a roll.
Yeah.
16.
But yeah, so you can see this coming. Pretty obvious what he's going to try and do here, and it just swings blind into the void. He can't kind of get to you, but he is able to get back up onto his feet for the end of his turn. He can swing himself back up there. It'll be your turn again. Give me one more roll at the start of your turn.
Okay.
Just a roll.
18.
Cool. The chair is not broken.
All right, I'll hit him one more time with the chair. Oh shit!
Yeah.
I meant to ease it.
Oh well, the 9 will hit. You know it will.
That's fine. Yeah, cool. I'll hit him with the chair again, and I'll say,
Yeah.
"Look, Bill. How about I buy you that drink? I'll even buy one for your friends."
The
If the
kind of
you know,
leg of the chair hits him square in the jaw, and this guy
oof.
twists, and he's down on his knees, and a load of you feel things kind of crackle and crunch. There's a
Oof.
lot of blood coming out of his mouth onto the floor here, and the men who were yelling and roaring are now quiet. Everyone in the room is kind of quiet.
I'll offer him my
you know,
hand and say, "Look, Bill, about that drink. Come on, let's go. I'll buy you a drink and your friends."
He looks up at you with his eye is starting to close up. His eye is starting to swell and close up, and his jaw is a little bit looser than it should be. But he brings up a hand and comes up and kind of meets your hand. His friends are not rushing to help him, you'll notice.
Can't be that great of friends. Yeah,
Maybe they don't want a drink.
I'll say that. Your friends don't seem too eager to help you out.
And he looks back over to them, and then he's going to look back over to you, and he's going to pick up his tankard off the floor and say, "I heard ale, please." And then grin, the kind of closest thing to a grin he can manage, where he's obviously in a lot of pain, but at the same time, he's this is a level of,
mate,
he knows he's beaten.
Tell you what, mate, I'll buy you their drinks. We'll have 2 each. So,
And he's going to limp over to the bar with you,
Sounds like
and there's blood starting to run down his chin, out of his mouth there, but space eases up for you at the bar.
So, are you guys going to wait outside? Is there a table outside for these guys? Because I'll send their drinks out. I'm going to buy some ale for me, Bill, and Elias and Arnold.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say the full round will cost you a shin.
Oh, easy clap.
It's not an awful lot.
There you go.
The bartender looks at Bill as though he's just being a twat again.
Sorry about you. How's the chair?
The chair has some blood on it, but it's used to hitting people. It's been through this before.
I'll chuck the barkeeper shin for the cleanup. So then I'll just say sorry about the mess, and I'll inquire about whether they've got a room going.
We've a few. You need stabling as well.
Yes. We have an Anine.
Yeah. Stabling for an Anine room. How many are you sleeping?
3.
Yeah, all right. I'll be right back. And she'll make you up 4 kind of flagons of ale, and the ale is foaming on the top, and it's a kind of nice amber color, kind of slightly redder than amber, for that kind of color.
All right, I guess I'll pick them up and say, "Hey, Bill, come meet my friends," and head outside to the guys.
You're gonna head outside.
See if you can tell us anything about the local regions or anything.
So a swinger of furniture.
That's not my first time. my uncle was a carpenter or something. Just bullshit.
Yeah, that's fine. So Sam, Gex, you fellas are sat taking in the evening air when you see Gex walk out of the tavern, of the roadhouse, carrying 3. He's carrying 2 tankards.
Wait, shit! The bar staff's gone to inquire about a room. I forgot about that.
Yes, yeah. I was going to let you forget. Don't worry. Yes, you come out of the tavern holding 2, and he's next to a big bald fella covered in leathers, who's also carrying 2 tankards of ale. And this man is bruised and bleeding from the face, but seems to have some semblance of a smile underneath that. They walk up towards the cart where you are.
Hi, fellas. This is Bill. We had a minor disagreement at the bar, but he seems to know his way around the place.
I can't say quite a lot.
Jed, I'm gonna
Yes.
I'm gonna run forward and embrace Bill. Here's an XP point. I am going
Okay.
to use one of my player intrusions.
Oh,
That Bill is actually an old friend of mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah,
A
excellent.
comrade in arms helps you out but can't stay about long.
Huh,
So
huh.
Bill, being a traveler of the roads, a merchant,
Yeah.
and we've crossed paths many times, and he has employed me to this to he will inquire about my whereabouts before he employs other people. You know what I mean? I'm like his
Yeah, sure.
favored Uber guard. So yeah, that's how I know him. And
Oh,
we've had this kind of setup for a few years, and he is a bit of a lout, and he drinks too much, but generally he's not that bad a guy.
He's your Bill.
He's my Bill. Yeah.
oh, Bill.
Oh,
You guys know each other.
old Bill.
Awesome.
Yes, William. Good to see you.
oh,
I'll take
stay
the
on
drink
the
out of his hand.
feet, Elias. I
Yeah.
didn't expect you traveling. Yeah. Whoa.
What happened to your jaw?
Oh, some of it left on the floor in there. Alright.
Yeah, that'll have been me. It's Hector, by the way. Nice to meet you, Bill. Sorry about that.
And he's got a free hand now, so he'll clap you on the shoulder just gently. Hector,
Yeah.
I know Elias, and who's this pale so and so?
That's Arnold.
Up there's Arnold's.
Another very awkward nod, and under my breath, how is this better than the women?
Well, let's ask William why it's going to be better than the women. And I'll set about while we're kind of sitting around beside the cart having a drink. I'm going to tell William the story of us coming across these three damsels washing their fucking sacrificial blood from their robes. And what I'm doing here is I'm including all the religious stuff I know, and I'm possibly inferring that the sacrifices, we don't even know what they were sacrificing, and ask him does he know anything about the village of Halstead, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
Halstead, you got that whole hand of the Lord thing. Something old there, something, don't know how it works. They say it gives them good crops.
and it
Interesting.
feeds on blood.
Don't know.
Yeah, I've been to many religious. I'm trying to persuade Arnold here. I've been to many religious parties, and they're not all they're cracked up to be.
No way.
Well, one person's.
I don't care
orgy
about
is
the
another
religion.
person's. Yes, but there's many and varied religions throughout this land.
There's
And
one primary religion, and it's in between their legs.
yes, but they
They'll
espouse
laugh.
neither of them. And for all you know, the three of them are married to their, what did you call it? The Great Hand?
Hand of the Lord.
Yes, but a good spanking. Sorry, that's off topic. Okay. I won't wallow on it. I will.
And then, so what's this place like, Bill?
Oh,
never
Tanner's
stayed here
been here
before.
for decades now. Yeah, good spot, good stew, good beds, good distance from mine. Took us a little longer this time for the road. Are you going that way yourself?
Yeah, we're heading south. We'll probably pass through Ein. What's on the road that took you so long to get here?
Just seemed longer this time.
Oh,
Is there many taverns on that route?
Plenty of places to stay. You'll stop in Sanderglen and yeah, funny folks there.
Should we tell him about the village of murdered people and tentacle monsters?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mind letting people know about that.
Don't know if you're familiar with what's it called?
Senston.
Senston, but they've experienced some blood-related misfortune recently.
Oh gosh, oh.
Yeah, if you're
Due to
going north,
blue.
Yeah, if you're going north with any food or items, I don't know, you might make some money there.
Got
Not
some good
suggesting that
stones.
he robs them, but
Got some
suggesting more that he'll help those people. Sorry.
Got some good sand. Got a good buyer for some good sand up in Orilla.
Ooh,
And
exotic.
moving up to
Good sand.
oh yeah, well it's from the let me get the proper map of the area up.
Old desert.
Well, why
Sand
would the
sand
gorilla
up
want
from south
sand?
of the Sidara, and then they're moving up. I don't know why people buy stuff, but then the
Are
road
you
is north
making
from
glass?
I guess
Could
so.
be.
there. Got a broker wants fine sand from the cold desert. So we can get that up from south of the river, buy it cheap. Got sound sand in the desert, but we can move up that way. And then we're heading on up to Boreg. Got a lad up there wants us to I don't know what.
Well, it's good seeing you again, Bill. If you're staying here tonight, are you?
Yep, we'll be stopping on and moving on sometime in the morning. Tell you what, you should let me see if I've got a card here somewhere. And he pats his pockets here and abouts, and eventually comes up with a kind of written card that has an address in Orilla written on it. So that's the fellow I'm contracted onto. Might be there for some time if you're heading back north, but you said you were going south. So anyway, good tends to be work there.
Oh, it's good
And
to know. And I'll put the card in a little card-sized box that's kind of attached to my belt.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, I just had the idea that I probably have a lot of travelers, merchants, people I bumped into. Maybe I've got a collection of these things.
An address book or something like that. Yeah.
Rolodex.
Rolodex in your pants.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
All right, well, we should get our stock up to the rooms and
Yeah.
settle in for the evening and get some food.
I'll grab
You'll
Bill.
join us, will you, Bill, for a meal?
I'm
I'm
oh,
buying.
well, I don't know if I'm in for eating.
We'll buy you some soup, mate.
Fine, you're on. Be good to have you with it.
I need a wee. Can we pause for a minute?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's
Okay.
9 o'clock. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah,
So I'm going to grab some water just quickly, actually. But yeah, let's take 5 minutes.
Excellent, Gav. Didn't know you could do things like that.
So, Sam, I'm happy with stuff like that. Basically, I'm happy for that to have only cost 1 XP for the purpose of it just being a nice story moment. Some of the things that I put in the Discord, so what did I say? So if you want to have had a moment in your kind of past or in your backstory or something like that, basically you can spend XP to get that quite easily. And depending on how significant you want that to be mechanically or how long you want it to last for, depends on how much XP it will cost.
Great,
So if you spend 2 points of XP, you can say, well, actually, I have stayed at this inn before and I do know I have a secret stash out the back or something like that.
Yeah, got you. Yeah. Cool.
Or actually, I have spent time studying the locks used in this area because I trained with a locksmith years ago, and so you can get an extra asset on picking locks specifically in this building or specifically in this town or something.
What?
I must remember
Oh,
that because I
player
have
intrusions.
lockpicks. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Cool.
So yeah, you can spend XP. I gave some, like I said, there's some quite specific examples in the rulebook, but I gave some kind of rough guidance to it in the Discord as well. Gex, did you tick the gained a new skill on
Yes.
your? Yeah, you did. Yeah. So, like I say, when all when
all
four
are
of them
full.
fill up, yeah, you will go up a tier. But I don't expect you to go up a tier in this game. But it's cool that you're getting just a couple of extra things, you know.
Yeah. I
So
just
what did I
felt
talk
like
about
it'd be a good idea for one of us to have some ability to understand Numenera.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, in a permanent way. Yeah. Yeah, so you can spend 2 XP to get a kind of temporary or highly specific actual mechanical benefit, whereas what Gav did there was just flavor.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to be 2 seconds more, and then I'll be ready to play again.
Good old Bill. What a legend.
I like how you diffused a combat situation with a chair.
Yeah.
Just gonna say, it was very well played.
I
think-
I wasn't gonna back down, but I also wanted to fight him and then buy him a drink.
I think if it was anybody else, they would have like shouted, and then we would have fucking ended up murdering people with whatever, stabbing people. But yeah,
just a little bar fight, a little friendly bar fight. No worries.
If it were D&D, you'd have killed everybody because that's how D&D goes.
Yeah, and then burnt the inn down to destroy all evidence.
Yeah. And then
sorry, Jed. My player intrusion, right? It actually does have a little bit of a mechanical thing. It's saying that a comrade in arms helps you out, but can't stay about long. So what I was thinking was
mysterious stranger.
That this guy will just be out and about doing his thing, and he might see somebody sneaking up the stairs, or he might know of something. There'll be possibly some benefit.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that person remains in an NPC thing, so it's not a firm and strictly defined benefit. But yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay. Just in case something kicks off.
Yeah. The player intrusions and stuff that you guys have there again are suggestions. So if you have other ideas of things that you think are mechanically kind of equitable or similar in terms of significance, again, I'm happy to accept certain suggestions or improvisations within that.
Cool.
In fact, I will informally encourage them. That kind of creative play, I think, is quite cool.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I reckon I'm just going to dig the box out of the back of the cart, out of the hay.
Yeah, we didn't.
I hope you move that.
We didn't get as the staff come and said the room's available and that. Jed?
Sorry, I'm 2 moments.
Yeah. Okay.
I had to go into a different room just briefly.
Looking at buying some surplus boots from Barastalika, but I don't know.
Where?
Barastalika, the Finnish military surplus website. They're pretty cool. But they're Bundeswehr Hakes DMS combat boots surplus. They're pretty cool. 45 quid. German
I'm
army.
pretty
The
sure you
Hayek's
can get.
boots are all right.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you can get German ones everywhere in England.
Yeah.
Just remember them being in every surplus shop I ever went into.
Yeah. So, which surplus shop near me is open?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, surely there's.
Plus, if you're buying from Rose D, you can buy Chocolate Cola.
Yeah, which is awesome. Chocolate invented by the Nazis to give to their soldiers, which contains
It's chocolate with
2 cups of caffeine in 1 piece of the chocolate.
Jesus.
Wow.
It's pretty good. I bought one from them before. It's dark chocolate and milk chocolate. The original version was dark, so I bought one of those, and you have like 2 squares of that, and you're fucking blazing. It's like in a wheel shape with segmented wheels, so you pull off like a little segment.
It's quite a cool little can.
Yeah, I've still got the can in my cupboard.
Neat.
But yeah, I don't know. There's a few reviews saying that the soles have come away on them, so I'm a bit like.
That's the risk with surplus boots anyway. Which we can be distracted just really briefly. Which model are they exactly?
It's the Bundeswehr KS 2005 Hikes DMS combat boots.
KS 2005. So let me take just a really quick look. So if they're DMS, they are a directly molded sole rather than it being a stitched-on sole,
Yeah.
which means they're a bugger to replace.
Yeah, that's what people are saying.
There, yeah. The thing is that these are going to be grade 1 at best rather than being super grade, and buying grade 1 boots is
it's a
risky, effectively. Yeah. Coin flip is a good way to put it, to be honest, because sometimes they're going to be absolutely fine. They're going to last for a while. The Hayek's ones are all right. They're not lowers, they're not Altbergs or anything like that, but they're okay.
They seem cheap.
Yeah, and that's about the price I'd expect them to be.
Oh, they've got Austrian Kaz 03 combat boots, which are closely related to and improved.
Yeah,
Anyway.
they don't look. They're a lot cheaper, and they don't look too different.
Yeah.
The sole's not as nice there, I don't think. Again, it's just a standard DMS sole, to be honest. Those look taller, the Kaz 03s.
Yeah.
X is tall. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. I quite like a tall ankle.
Rare.
I don't know. Just I buy. I've been wearing carry more boots and walking shoes for like the last 6 years, and the last pair I got, all of the eyelets, several of the eyelets have just popped off. In fact, I bought a pair, and the day I bought them, an eyelet popped off, and I returned them, got another pair, and within like a month, 4 eyelets popped off. So I just cannot trust those carry more boots anymore. Anyway.
No, sure. I mean, it's the sort of thing. Yeah, if you're buying stuff from First, I trust those guys to play their diligence in terms of actually getting stuff to the grade they're meant to be. But,
and returns.
Yeah, it's possible, definitely.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to say don't do it. The unfortunate thing is, buying shoes online is always a crapshoot, because you might get them and just the last is completely wrong for your feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Check that picture in Numenera. That's what you want. Look at that for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nothing strikes 1980s
The modeling on the website is amazing. It's all just the staff just modeling the shit.
Yeah. No, I like them. Just the sense of humor behind the company is good. But...
Yep.
Right.
Sorry, there's a guy with a Czechoslovakian work apron for €2, but he's modeling it naked.
Yep, obviously.
Just with the apron around himself.
The marketing for their jeans has been brilliant.
Yeah.
Because they've had some very close standing men in flexible positions wearing these kind of tactical jeans, and because they promote it on Facebook. Yeah, well, to be honest, they are jeans with a decent range of motion. You know, the idea is that they're advertising these things that you can effectively do yoga in because they're gusseted and they're cut in a certain way.
I have a pair of stretchy jeans and they are amazingly comfortable. And I'm like super flexible and I can like probably stretch out and splay my legs and shit, and it's great.
Oh yeah, gusseted jeans is a game changer, definitely. What about it?
Anywho,
but let's get back to the task at hand.
Please.
Yeah, because I will talk about this all night. And
I know. I realize you are the person to speak to about such things.
Wow, jinx! Yeah, it's
sorry. Another time.
You take a few moments, kind of sitting having your drinks outside when the barkeep that you spoke to comes out in her apron, looking now a little bit even more pissed off, and just kind of looks at you and goes, "Do you want the room?"
Oh yes, please.
Right, fine, okay. 3 of you. This dickhead's not staying with you, is he? And she'll point at Bill. And he'll chuckle and he'll laugh and he'll say, "No, I've got one," in his mumbling voice. And stabling for. Are you still near the cart, or are you? I know you've.
I shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stabling for that Anine over there. That one wasn't there a minute ago.
Yeah.
Fine. A shin each, 3 shins for the night.
I'll fish around in my bag and pay
includes
the 3.
Your meals.
Oh, you'll pay the 3. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I bought the beers.
Dinner is now. Breakfast is dawn. Don't stay too late.
Thanks, darling.
And she kind of scowls at you as you say that and drops a key with a numbered wooden tag on it down onto the table and just turns and leaves.
Bloody rude.
No
what
worries.
was that with her?
Oh, I couldn't possibly tell.
But yeah, the kind of evening is jolly. Bill starts regaling kind of stories of a more recent trip, not the one that he's on currently, but a more recent trip where he was kind of riding backwards and forwards through where am I looking through here? Further east, closer to the Black Ridge Mountains, which Gav, as far as you're concerned, is closer to his normal range anyway, having worked with him before, and that being closer to your own kind of home ground before you've travelled this far.
Right.
This far west, and he was running things up and down there, and the weather conditions get so bad when you get high up into the mountains there that he'd had to. They'd lost one of the animals, and they'd had to basically turn this thing into shelter, overnight to get inside it and stay. And as he's saying this, he's got this kind of grin where obviously it was quite grim at the time, but he's really happy and proud to be able to tell this story.
That he's survived it.
Yeah, really proud to have been able to survive the storm he was caught in by sleeping inside a dead animal. And I stank so bad that the next town I went into, the road guard near enough vomited just looking at me.
Well, they smell bad, but they'll keep you warm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, any tale you can live to tell and all that.
Yeah. And what's bad on the hill is good on the road, good in the tavern. As we know. What and this is, he's into his kind of second or third drink by this point. So what are you all carrying this far south?
I'll just kind of tap my nose, say, rich man's goods. You know the deal.
I do know that deal. Yeah,
they're very secretive about their wares. We've got ourselves a lockbox that we're carrying, and sure, I don't know what's in it. We don't have far to go, though.
No, yeah, well, I suppose You should keep your hand square on it then. There's always folks looking to take a rich man's box away from you, and I'll ask no more.
Yeah, and if you see any of those men, let us know. And I'll kind of start moving towards the inn.
And the number, the key that you were given had a, as I say, kind of burnt in number 7 onto it, and you can see as you go into the tavern, things are just as busy as when Gex went in there, but things are now a little more subdued. You're getting into the evening. Some people have turned in for the night, and there is a set of stairs, near to the doorway that you can find.
Yeah, I'll just basically get up there real quick, trying to keep the box on the side of me away from everyone else in the inn.
You
And
can
just,
find room number 7.
yeah, and basically just secrete it as best I can away upstairs.
And room 7 has 4 beds, but only 3 are made up. It's
Right, well,
so
I'll
fourth
claim,
has just a bare straw mattress, but the others have sheets and blankets onto them.
I'll claim the one furthest from the door, and I'll slide the box underneath it.
Sure. Yeah, easy to do.
Seems legit.
And once you get the door closed, any noise that would be coming from downstairs is fairly well drowned out, to be honest.
Cool.
Sam and Gex, are you fellas going to stay up a little bit longer listening to your new friends' tales from the road?
Yeah, I'll have a couple more bits.
No. No, explicitly.
You're not going to.
No.
You're gonna follow Elias.
Yeah, I'll be helping him get the stuff out there, and then I'm just gonna fucking face plant a bed.
I'll have
Yeah,
another beer or two, and I'll probably spend a shin on that, and then make my excuses and head to bed.
And Bill's kind of at this point, he's starting to rub his jaw, and he's starting to kind of feel in where you might have knocked a tooth or something like that. He's at this point where the pain is dulled enough that he just wants to poke it a little bit. But he, his his feeling is obviously there, and he's obviously curious about what you do. So where did you say you learned fighting?
You know, on the streets and that.
Streets. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Huh. What streets is those? And he starts, he's now looking at and asking questions again. What streets? What streets? Where you from?
I
Hector?
believe I said I was from Garn,
Yeah, I think that's
and
what you
I
said as
will
well.
I will run with it. Streets are Garn, the mean streets, as they say.
Gone. Never been to Gone. Well, that's yeah. Anything good there? What do you recommend? Let's say I want to get some traditional Gone, seafood, for example. Sea Kingdom, isn't it, Gone?
Yeah.
What do you recommend?
The mussels are excellent.
I know about mussels. He starts kind of, he lifts his tankard up in a way that's meant to make himself look flex. And, he's not a slight guy, but he's not exactly bodybuilder physique either.
Yeah, but if you ever get going, try the mussels. Calamari's good too.
Calamari. Do you know, I think it is time for me to turn in myself.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. And I'll.
And he's looking around, and it's definitely dark outside. You're among the last few people out there. The other fellas who were in khaki on the deck turned in some time ago, not long after things actually got dark, and the lights outside were doing more than the sun. The setting sun. They turned in around then.
I'll clasp his hand and give him a good old tap on the shoulder, man hug, and say, "See you later, Bill. Nice to meet you."
Should see you on the road, Doctor Hector.
Yeah, see you in a bit. and then I'll go to bed.
Yeah.
Nice fellow that Bill.
And there's one room left in the
On bed.
yeah, one bed left in the room.
Well, guess I take that one, whether I like it or not.
Easily done. And yeah, you all sleep well enough that what? I don't know.
What?
Yeah, that you can rest quite well. Again, I'll let you kind of recover any points that you've spent across the day. I don't think any of you have really been hit at all.
I've spent a few.
You can make your recovery rolls if you'd like.
I took a sucker punch. So it's
How long are we sleeping for? A full 10 hours? That's quite a lot, isn't it? We want to be
Yeah,
up.
10 hours of sleep. 10 hours of sleep is
I'll
quite a lot. You're right.
take
But,
8 hours. So I'll do like 2 rolls. See what I get.
Just good to leave mine as is.
Well, a 6. Can I use that to all my pools?
yeah, so that's 6 spread as you like between
Cool.
pools.
I'm back up to.
Yeah, I rolled a
full
3.
Scruff.
So I just used the one action thing, and I'm back up to full as well.
Yeah. So. Boobs. Sorry.
So I'm just checking over something in particular on my notes here. That was there. All right, 2 seconds more. Sorry, I'm checking over because I was reading something in the setting earlier and I was sure that it was about gun, and I can't remember specifically. Yes, this was exactly what it was, but that's okay. All right, no problem. And I'll come back to that later. Maybe I'll send you that later on, Gex, if you're interested in that.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you kind of sleep well, and you awake around dawn time. The sound of the roadhouse is starting to kind of bustle up and to awaken here around you. The breakfast is being served below you in the dining hall, although you can find your table outside quickly as well, if you'd rather.
Yeah.
Whichever's less populated. Well, in fact, no. I'm gonna eat. If somebody can bring me up, I'll stay with the box in the room.
Yeah, I'll get you a takeaway.
You can get a plate of kind of eggs and toast and different meats.
Yep.
Sandwich meats.
And this is a good warm meal, as I say. You were all reminded of how long it had been since it'd been those few days since you'd had that, and you're able to get that here and now.
Nice.
A good kind of hearty road meal that will wake you up, but doesn't leave you feeling too spry and kind of bubbly like a plate full of fruit would. This is a sort of meal that's going to sit in you if you're going to sit in a car all day and
Nice.
keep you going and keep you warm.
Slow release energy.
Yeah, it's not really big plate of fruit isn't on my diet.
Yep.
And when you're downstairs, the person who's serving, there's someone else there kind of taking the names of animals or taking details of which carts. They say, "Oh, should we saddle up for you? Should we get all ready to go?"
Oh, we can take care of
Yeah,
it
we'll
ourselves.
manage.
Indeed. Well, thank you, though.
Yeah.
We'll
So
saddle
yeah,
up.
you're able to eat and then make your way out to the roadside and find Archibald where he's been stabled. The cart where it's been kind of chained up for the night. And there are stable hands there who are happy to open things and kind of pass you things as you need, but you can get things set up and ready.
Lovely.
to go without too much difficulty. And you know, if you'd like to be, you can be among the first people heading out on the road.
Yeah.
Certainly, your new friend Bill isn't awake to be seen yet. Some of the other fellows that he was drinking with are up and around and also getting their breakfast, but they won't look directly at you, Gex. Having seen kind of what you do to people who do.
Excellent. All right, let's boogie to the woogie.
Yeah, we'll get moving.
Yes, happy to leave. Sorry,
Yeah.
my brain is 100% stopped working, by the way.
That's all right. That's okay. We won't play for too much longer. I'll put you on the road south. As I say, the pace that you've been keeping within the day now, you'll start to come into sight of the. You'll start to come within sight of the hills that you know to be, you know, just before getting through to Iron. And the farmland here is becoming kind of denser packed once you pass Tanner's. Tanner's? Tonner? I can't remember
I think
anyway.
that's what you were calling it earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tanners.
You know, fields become a bit smaller, fences become a bit taller. Maybe you get the sense that neighbors don't trust neighbors quite as much, and there's a bit more kind of pressure on land. You can see houses being dotted about, and so, you know, rather than large areas of land perhaps being managed cooperatively or owned by a single landowner, now you're getting to an area with more small holdings. You see odd fields, you know, fields that look well partitioned by stone walls also being broken up within them, and so you'll have an area that has kind of, you know, snouted kind of digging animals, and another, you know, an area within the same field that has the remains of a wheat crop kind of building up in and around that. What you also notice then is tents in fields, you know, areas that might be fallow and have at some point been farmed, are now home to nomadic groups. Archibald is twisting his head a little more and kind of looking around a fair bit more as well.
Does he look
within that.
nervous?
Yeah, you know, he's kind of, in a way that he hadn't been before, is starting to sniff things, particularly as you start to come up past tents and the like. The people that would be in them are not awake yet, although in the odd ones you can see smoke coming out from, you know, TP chimneys and things like that, or the remains of campfires outside and between them. So there are signs of life. These places are occupied, but they're not. You know, they're not awake and active yet. People are enjoying what they can of staying warm in their sleeping bags or in their quilts before they get up and face the morning. You know, this is now a cold enough day that it stings your nose ever so slightly. You can see your breath hanging in the dawn light ever so slightly, and that may be it. Do you, Gix, if you're driving the cart, would you like to make a roll yourself? To, you know, because you've spent this bit of time getting to know Archibald, I'm going to let you roll to work out exactly how he's feeling and what's going on here.
Yeah. Let's see what's what. Oh, 2.
Yeah,
Seems fine.
yeah. To be honest, beyond the fact that he's being a little more twitchy, there's so many different reasons that could be, and you don't really even know that enough about Aneen psychology or the way this one has been trained, or, you know, what it's used to, what it's done in the past, to kind of pin down why that could be. He's being a little more twitchy than he has been over the past few days, though.
I'll just pat him on the shoulder and say, "You big dumb beast," and sneeze.
Maybe it's a tumor. Yeah.
It's a tumor.
Oh, dear God. Alma just messaged me saying she has a patient who has dementia who's taken a shit in the sink.
Oh no.
Respect.
Bless them. I mean, I guess that's easy enough to clean up, right?
The sink, man. The kettle.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they've taken the curtain down from around their bed and shat on that.
When I was in primary school, you know the rolly towels, like in
Yeah.
a public toilet.
Yeah.
Somebody took a shit and put their shit in that rolly thing.
Oh man!
Nobody knows who. And,
So
like,
it just keeps
we all
coming and coming and
we
coming.
all talked about it, and it was like, oh, it's just this little hard poo that used to roll as you pull the thing down, and it was just fucking hilarious.
The venue I worked in Bristol, somebody caught. So out the back of the venue, we'd had bottle bins, you know, kind of big bins, and we took the rubbish out every night. And despite that area being fenced off from the street and having to get, you know, past all the dressing rooms and everything else, and, you know, getting past the dressing rooms, getting past the public cloakroom, mean going past the gents and the ladies and the disabled loo and the performers loo. Somebody found a member of the public having a shit out the back there once. One of the staff caught somebody when he was taking the bins out.
Nice.
How the fuck did he get there?
Yeah,
Tremendous
right.
effort, like,
Yeah, whether he'd climbed the fence to get around there just to take a shit or what, I don't know.
He wants privacy. Go to some effort.
Yeah,
People amaze me.
it was some horrible. I think it was Discharge playing or some horrible cross punk band that night. You know, so it almost wasn't surprising.
Yep.
People are finding creative ways to be disgusting. You know.
Just comment on the music.
Yeah. I tell you what, fellas. Rather than launching you into another chapter, because there were a whole bunch of things that could have happened in this session that didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to launch you into some other stuff now. Are you happy to leave it there?
Yeah. I
Would you
am.
like to do anything else to prepare for the day?
No.
no,
Sam,
not really.
Sam, you should top up your intellect there, by the way. You didn't put that
We
I
on.
need
know.
to-
I didn't rest.
Okay, fair.
We
You're
need
not
to-
taking any
yeah,
recovery
just-
rolls.
No, what's the point? It's only 2. And we
Yeah,
weren't doing a
and then
full
you-
10 hours. I'd lose my 1 action and my 10-minute one and my 1 hour one. So I feel they're
Cool,
more
okay,
useful
yeah.
used in a actual situation.
You're going to have a fitful drunkard sleep instead of a good restful
Yes.
sleep.
Right.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
can I?
the
Does
one.
that mean I can choose my 1 hour one to have been that roll?
No, you do.
You
You
have
do
to
them in order.
Okay, cool.
You do them in order. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do it.
Yeah, cool.
So
And plus,
it's,
I
you
got
know,
that cipher there that gives me 4 intellect points. If I really need it, I'll chuck that cipher in.
Yeah.
Cool. Useful.
It lets you recover those. Yeah, you have. Reminding myself what you fellas have got. You've got your Gex has got the grenade.
I've got as I've written, weird ball does summit, makes holes.
Tell me what, I'm just gonna give you the card because I'll forget about it otherwise.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put that there for you.
It's a grenade.
Yeah.
Corrosive grenade.
It's a grenade,
Ooh.
yeah. I rolled what kind of damage it would do.
I keep putting it in my hand by mistake. Where's the minus button?
and add them to the party notes as well in the notes category. So
Oh, there we go. Can't
Okay.
touch type.
I meant to keep names and stuff in there so we can remember everything.
5 points of corrosive damage. That is very, very specific and can do shit. Better than
Yeah.
a lot.
Certain capabilities.
I'll send
Cool.
you
Alright,
what my notes look like for the last 2 sessions.
Mhm.
It's a fucking nightmare. I can't even read my own writing.
Yeah. You see my notebooks at work.
I'm interested to see them partly because I'm interested in seeing how much of stuff that I'm making up on the spot and possibly getting you guys are logging down are going to put me up on later.
Well, it's
Oh,
also
yeah,
nice
nice,
to
I see 'em.
see players' notes so you can get an idea
Yeah.
of what maybe they think is important opposed to what you're actually.
I just write like random
Yeah, absolutely.
random words.
Arl Nave area.
Yeah, that was your.
Yeah.
You gave me a player quest. Find hidden lore relating Gav's backstory in Garl Nave area. Tells me tales
Yeah.
wearing a thread. Mentor. fine.
I wrote a list and then questions for that first encounter I did on my own. I can see that in there, and then you look at Gav's in the party notes.
I haven't looked at that actually.
Coherent sentences. Well, when
Yeah.
there's a downtime when you guys are talking and I'm not, that's when I kind of jot down that stuff. And I
Yeah,
have it
okay.
up on the screen all the time.
Why can't I see the notes?
Go to notebook and then go party notes.
Oh, party notes, yeah.
Yeah.
The man in Olive, the alleyway. Olive. Ah.
Yeah, the first half was kind of Sam, and then yeah. But that's just the story shit. I've no interest in the, I didn't record any stats for Numenera or anything like that. That's just plot, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the place for it.
Yeah.
I would say.
Cool. Thank you, Jed.
Yeah, I had fun this time.
It's all right. Yeah.
It's like
I was knackered, so
I'm sure we missed out a lot of shit, but like I feel
Well,
like
yeah, I felt
I feel like we
pointedly
did a lot.
ignoring shit. You know what I mean?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's all right. I've thrown things in, and I'm happy to give you the option to come back to them later or not.
Yeah, I want to find out what
I'm-
the fucking deal was with that invisible box around the inn,
Yeah, I really
Well,
want to find
yeah.
that one up.
and
I-
those crazy succubus bitches.
I want to go
I mean,
nail them.
I thought the literal invisible wall that would force you to resolve it in the road would have been, a session to sort out. But going around it is fine and legitimate, and I know you wanted to keep the pace up, so I'm not going to be the DM that says no, you can't do that.
I bet it was just a kinky orgy encounter that Jed had scripted for us with those three ladies.
Was it legitimately Monty Python? Because I was getting 100% vibes of that.
It's got 15 pages of erotica to read to us.
I did lay you down on the straw bed. And
I knew this whip
ripping
would come
down.
in handy sometime.
I have been ever so naughty.
You must be
Bad,
funny.
wicked. She's been lighting our beacon, which I just remembered is grail shaped.
This metallic sphere vibrates on command whenever you want.
So that scene itself was not inspired by that, but I do have in my kind of earliest notes from this, if you'd taken one of the side roads, you might have come across a kind of creature dressed in black that would say "None shall pass."
Uh-huh.
Brilliant.
Yeah. We'll know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
yeah.
definitely
Would
kind
you
of
join me, good sir?
becoming Harrison Ford more than Indiana Jones. Like I said, sorry about the mess, and I've got a bad feeling about this. I just like fucking Han Solo quotes, but I don't care.
Yeah.
You've
We're
just
fine.
gone
How
off.
are you?
Yeah. A great line.
Boring conversation anyway.
Sucky bastard.
Okay, I'm gonna go get myself a sandwich, and I will be
Yeah.
online in a few minutes.
All right. Yeah, that was
can do a
good.
bit more, yeah, I think so.
I enjoyed that.
Let me save this.
I enjoyed my bar fight.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was
Well.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a good way to resolve it as well.
Wait,
I
you
might
have
have been on
Siri,
the outside
Neville?
for most of this, but I did enjoy listening to that.
Yeah, does Siri
Back in a bit.
work?
Fuck you.
I honestly
No.
thought it was going to go way more south than that, and you were just going to get murked by four guys. But
Well, I was going to diffuse the situation, but I feel like I had to diffuse the situation from a position of power.
yes,
To understand is every
that's
accent
yeah.
is
Well,
like
that's how it worked
standard
out. Wasn't it?
British,
That's what we
Yeah.
meant, yes.
and your
I
father.
got some ideas on how to use those player intrusions in the
Oh, wait.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, yeah.
I was thinking about it.
Corned beef.
And I want to.
What on earth is he
He's
trying
thinking
to say?
things like, for example, this is just an example, Jed. Say, I failed some sort of awareness roll.
Are you
You know,
implementing
say
it?
to see someone about to jump out at me, hypothetical, and I used a player intrusion to have something from within the phase warn me. Whether or not that is a shimmering light comes through the phase and focuses my
Yeah.
attention towards it, or something